Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve here, Raiken Profit over at RaikenProfit.com. Coming back to you with another video with my main man,
Jamison. Let's go.
Jamison Philippi. We're over here in Hollywood, Florida, enjoying a beautiful night. Today we had a lot of fun. We went out and had some great food. We went into the water. We just connected, talked about reselling. And one of the things that we were talking about today were prep centers. And I want to make a video talking a little bit about what are prep centers, how can they help you to grow your business, especially if you're selling on Amazon. And I'm actually looking to move into utilizing a prep center because it's really holding my business back by me being the only one who's shipping my product.
Yeah, definitely.
So how long ago did you start using a prep center, Jamison?
I started using my prep center right around 2 years ago.
Okay, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So what is a prep center? Because people might be wondering, like, what do? Do they just prep items? Like, how is that beneficial? I could just prep my own stuff.
It's nice. A prep center basically is if you're doing online arbitrage and you order from Target, Walmart, Best Buy, or wherever, and then you have it shipped directly to a prep center, and they check in your items, check them for damage, make sure they're in new condition, make sure that they're the right item, you receive the right quantity, and they prep them, whatever, polybag, bubble wrap, box them, label them, and then ship them off to Amazon for you.
And why is that beneficial? Like, how does that help you to grow your business? Because couldn't you just do it yourself?
Yes. It may not always be the right answer to do if you're still growing and maybe you don't have a lot of money to invest in that, but once you start scaling, that's when I started to use a prep center, is after I started to scale and I couldn't ship out enough products on my own. It became beneficial to pay someone to help me take care of some of that.
So if I hear you correctly, if you want to grow your business, you have to be able to source more items,
yes.
But that requires more prepping, more shipping. So essentially it got to the point where you just didn't have enough time.
Yes.
And would you say that your time was worth more than what it costs for a prep center? Like, what does a prep center even charge you? Like, how does that work?
Most prep centers charge you based on the amount of volume you're sending them every month, how many items you're sending into Amazon. I've heard prep centers charge as low as, I think, 80, 90 cents an item, all the way up to maybe $2 or $3 an item, depending on the prep center and what type of services they offer you.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just talking to a guy named Logan. We actually went to the Miami 2022 conference, and I met a guy named Logan. Young kid, he was 20 years old. He was actually starting his own prep center. Very bright. Yeah, very, very bright. He's doing $80,000 a month right now.
Jeez,
at 20 years
that's
old.
insane.
Now his profits, what's the average profit for online arbitrage? 15, 20% or so?
Yeah.
But still, 20 years old, so 10% of 80,000 would be $8,000.
Yeah.
So maybe he's making 10, 15K.
Yeah.
That's not bad, but I was telling him how I was looking to get into a prep center, and I was telling him about one I was thinking about using in Pennsylvania, and he said, well, why aren't you using one in a sales tax free state? So there's certain states that don't charge sales tax, and I was like, well, I am sales tax exempt on eBay, but on Facebook Marketplace, I haven't been able to figure out how to get sales tax exempt, and in Connecticut, that's 6.35%. So to make a long story short, certain states don't charge sales tax. So if you use a prep center in New Hampshire, or what are some other sales tax free states like Florida? Wait, no, it's
Delaware.
No, Florida's no income.
Yeah, Delaware's
Delaware.
tax,
I think that's where he was located.
Oh, okay.
So what you can do is you can use a prep center in one of those tax-free states, and you can save that tax. So maybe even if they're charging you $2 or $3, it's almost like a wash for you, right?
Yeah.
But you're not using a sales tax-free prep center. So I'm curious, share with the people why you're not choosing to do that, because how much are you paying in sales tax?
I'm currently paying 7.6% in sales tax.
Wow, so for every $100 he spends on items, he's paying $7 and change on sales tax. So why aren't you sending it to New Hampshire? What's your reasoning for that?
A couple reasons. One, it took me a long time. I was always questioning whether I should use a prep center or not. And
it was hard to let go of that.
It was hard to let go and trust someone I had no clue who they were.
Yeah.
Touch my items. because no one's going to take care of your business like you do.
Yeah.
No one's going to. I mean, no one's going to run your business like you do.
No one will. Yeah.
And so that was my main concern in just allowing anyone to prep my items, because I don't know them. I don't know how they ship. I know that most people I ship. I'm very different when I ship.
What if stuff like gets left outside
exactly.
for 2 days in a row, gets lost, damaged?
So I had a lot of questions in that. So I was always on the fence about using a prep center. Eventually, I have a really good friend of mine who was using this prep center for I think a couple years, and he kept trying to sell me on it, use a prep center. You need to use a prep center. It's going really good. And he was like, and this is one of my really good friends, and he vouched for these people. I know them. They're great people. And he personally knew them. I had just met them at a couple conferences, and they seemed cool. And I did take the leap, and I gave it a shot, and it was great. It was one of the best decisions I made. And then I became really cool with the husband and wife that runs it. They have a big team, and I became cool with them. I became friends with them, and I feel comfortable with them.
And I think that's really important. Whoever you choose, to make sure you feel comfortable, based on the things that are important to you. If it's communication, or if you need them to ship it in very quickly, because obviously certain prep centers are going to be more busy. And one note as well, a lot of prep centers aren't even offering services. They're so busy right now. So you have to find a prep center. There'd be no point in sharing yours, because I know your prep center, right? I think you were telling me they're not even taking people.
When I know at the time when I joined, at that particular time, there was one slot open left. And I got the last spot at that time, which was a couple years ago.
Yeah. Let's also talk about the importance of making sure that you have a good tracking sheet set up, because when you send, say you buy something off of Walmart.com, maybe you order 50 of a particular toy, you're going to have to put in their address, ship it to them.
Yep.
But right when you place that order, what do? You have a tracking spreadsheet where you input what data?
So we have a spreadsheet that our prep center gives us that we share, and then it'll have date, title of the listing, ASIN, price you paid, price you want to list it at, store, order number, and quantity. And then also too, my prep center is super cool. Say I order 200 of one toy, but I only want to ship in 20 toys. There's a note section where I say, ship in 20, hold 80, or whatever I want, and they'll
charge
hold
a storage fee for you.
Yep, they just charge a monthly storage fee, and I can just message. We have a WhatsApp group,
that's nice.
And they let me know every time they ship stuff. Send me how much they shipped, if there's problems with items, if they come in damaged, they come in the wrong color, it's a completely different item. Like last week, I had ordered some LOL toys off of Walmart.
Yep.
24 dolls, and it in the box should have weighed it should have weighed 100 something pounds, and they got it and it weighed 3 pounds, and there was a bunch of sweaters and scarves in there. And so they had sent me pictures. They're like, hey, I don't think this is yours, but this was supposed to be for blah blah blah. So
Amazon does that as well. I had a Pictionary board game that got returned, sold it brand new sealed, got it back used, and they enjoyed it and sent it back. And you know how you've got to dispose of your inventory, have it shipped back? I had it shipped back because I'm used, I could still probably sell this for 20, 30 bucks. Amazon sent me a freaking private label, brand new sealed massage gun. What? I was just okay, I'll take that. But you definitely, you need to make sure that you work with a prep center that you're comfortable with, that inspects things thoroughly. And one of my good friends, Avery, Roamer the Roamer, he has a whole bunch of different systems set up in place, different rules, because his business is a little bit different. So you've got to be able to communicate. You've got to make sure that they're going in, they're checking in all the items, because I've heard stories where some prep centers, they'll prep all your stuff, ship it out, but they're not even filling out the tracking sheet. You need to know that it's been received. You need to know that it's there. If something's damaged or needs something done, that communication is so important. So, it's a big undertaking in a sense, because you're giving up all that trust, and you do have to build some systems, but ultimately this allows you to be able to travel. We're here in Florida, and you're able to still order products, get them shipped, and then what do? You just order it, you input the tracking, and then when the prep center receives it, what do? They list it? They list it,
inventory lab, do the shipment.
How do they get the labels and stuff? They just user access?
They had user permissions. I think they're using Boxed or whatever, and then they do the shipments, boom, get the Amazon labels, boom, boom, boom.
Is that by Chris Green? Did he create Boxed? Or
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, so they do everything. You just put it all in the spreadsheet, and you're pretty much done at that point.
And so they'll put in the weight, and it'll just charge your account and everything like that. Cool. Any final tips or words of wisdom, just based on your experience when choosing, or mistakes to avoid, or any final things for someone like myself or anyone out there who's thinking about taking that plunge?
I would, if I were looking for a prep center now, I would try to avoid one of probably the bigger ones. I know I've had had friends that order to some of the bigger ones in like Delaware, and you've got, let's say, 200 Amazon sellers ordering to that prep center. Sometimes if one or two people get banned on a website, everybody will get banned at that address. So I've heard of.
What do you mean by that?
So say you order 100 toys on Target.com, ship it to the prep center. I order 100 toys, ship it to the same prep center.
Oh, it gets blacklisted.
Sometimes they'll blacklist the addresses.
Gotcha.
So
I didn't even know.
I've heard that about a couple of them in Delaware, not just because they were getting so big and so many people were ordering that I think it was Target or Walmart picked up on it and ended up banning the address. I was told by a couple friends that were using.
Yeah, that's good advice. So I would definitely. I've talked to a couple prep centers. A lot of them, the owners will jump on a call with me. Yeah. And they'll talk to you. And, it's worth it for them because think about it. If you're maybe sending in 500 items a month or 1,000, that could be $1 to $3. It seems like $1 to $3 is where it's at. I know with bundles, a lot of times it's closer to $3. If you're using the sales tax-free states, those are a little bit more expensive. Yeah. I heard. But it obviously adds a lot more value. Yeah. So hopefully this video is able to help you guys out. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. Also, be sure to follow Jamison on Instagram?
Instagram, Facebook.
Facebook. Awesome. Cool.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks for coming on, my man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
Hi, brother.
And if you guys found value, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Much love.